Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Zakwan and I will be explaining what is defibrillator and its history.
My name is Danish Aiman and I will be explaining what is fibrillation.
My name is Farhan bin Salahuddin and I will be explaining about how the defibrillator works.
My name is Haqimi bin Muhammad Kamal. I will be explaining how the circuit in defibrillator works.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I am here to talk to you about a remarkable medical device that has revolutionized emergency medicine, the defibrillator. In the next 4 minutes, we will explore its origin, its inventor, its application, and the critical moment when it can make a life or death difference. Let's begin. Our journey begins in the early 20th century with a pioneering scientist named Dr. Albert Aiman. In 1993, Dr. Aiman invented the world's first defibrillator, known as the Aiman Auto. This device was designed to deliver controlled electrical shocks directly to the heart, the aim of restoring normal heart rhythm in patients experiencing cardiac arrest. Now, let's fast forward to the present day. Defibrillators have come a long way since Dr. Aiman's early invention. One of the most notable advancements is the automated external defibrillator, or AED. These portable devices have become a common sight in public spaces such as airports, schools, and sports arenas. AEDs are designed to be user-friendly even for those without medical training. They provide step-by-step instructions, guiding individuals through the process of delivering life-saving shocks to someone experiencing cardiac arrest. Dr. Paul Zoll, a key figure in defibrillator history, made significant contributions in the 1950s. He introduced the concept of external defibrillation, which involved placing electrodes on the chest instead of directly inside the heart. Now, let's discuss where defibrillators are used. This is some example of the places where defibrillators is mainly used. Defibrillators are found in hospitals, ambulances, and emergency rooms, where medical professionals use them as a critical tool in resuscitation efforts. Additionally, defibrillators are now widely available in public spaces, including shopping malls, gyms, and office buildings. Placing defibrillators in this location is essential because sudden cardiac arrest can happen anywhere at any time. So, when do we use a defibrillator? Defibrillators are primarily used when a person experiences a life-threatening heart rhythm called ventricular fibrillation. In this condition, the heart's electrical system becomes chaotic, causing the heart to quiver instead of pumping blood effectively. When someone collapses, is unresponsive, and not breathing normally, the first step is to call emergency services while waiting for help to arrive, using a defibrillator, especially an AED. To effectively pump blood out of the heart, the muscle cells contract in a coordinated way, as shown in the images. The heart muscle cells contract in a coordinated manner. If the heart muscle cells contract in a disorganized way, the blood will not be pumped out of the heart effectively. Sometimes the heart muscle cells in the middle have contracted before the heart muscle cells at the bottom of the heart. This makes the blood therefore get trapped at the bottom half of the heart. To fix that, we need to use a pacemaker. A pacemaker sends out electrical signals from the bottom of the heart to the top to make the heart pumps effectively. But in our discussion today, we will talk about fibrillation, which is another common medical problem. Fibrillation occurs when the heart muscle cells ignore the electrical signals coming from the control system. They now contract in such a disorganized way
that the heart appears to just shiver instead of contracting in an organized way. When this happens, the heart is said to be ventricular fibrillation, and in this condition, it cannot pump out blood normally. This is a serious medical emergency, and if nothing is done, the patient will die within a few minutes.
As the name suggests, the defibrillator is a device that stops fibrillation, the condition where the heart starts to beat erratically, usually during cardiac arrest. It does this by generating a powerful electrical current, about 300 joules of electrical energy, which is passed through the heart. This has the effect of stopping the uncontrolled trembling and resetting the beating to normal. There is a common misconception that a defibrillator is used when the heart stops beating entirely or flatline. Unfortunately, this exaggerates the capability of the device. Rather than restart the heart, the device works to reset the natural pacemaker in our bodies to return the heart to normal function and rhythm. If the heart has to stop, defibrillation will do little to restart it, so other techniques such as CPR are applied. It is even possible to have an automatic defibrillation placed inside the body of patient who have a disorder of the heart. This device, about the size of pocket watch, administers the appropriate electrical shock if they sense the heart going to fibrillation. They differ from a pacemaker, however, as they do not assist the heart in maintaining a pace. Rather, they deliver an electrical shock when they sense that the heart is approaching a dangerous state. The shock produced by the defibrillator is generated via a built-in battery, which releases a massive pulse of energy. This electrical energy is directed down to wires, each ending at a pad known as pedal. With a defibrillator in a hospital, a doctor applies a conductive gel to maximize the flow of electricity to the patient. The pedals have insulated plastic handle to prevent the user being shocked along with the patient. Automatic defibrillation, such as those you might see at the shopping center, use an adhesive pad which can be quickly and easily applied by anyone and avoid the need to hold the pad during use. They can also electronically guide a user through the defibrillation process without the need for a medical professional.
The defibrillator circuit is showing the various components, which is the power supply, capacitor and inductor. When the switch is connected to point A, the capacitor is connected to the power supply. The electrical current begins to flow through the circuit until the voltage at the terminals of the capacitor is equal to the voltage of the power supply. At this point, the capacitor has reached its total charging capacity and the current flowing through the circuit has stopped. When the switch is connected to point B, the capacitor begins to discharge and electrical energy is delivered through the pedals to the heart. The current delivered to the heart must last for several milliseconds in order for the heart to completely depolarize. However, the current of a discharging capacitor decreases exponentially. An inductor is needed to prolong the duration of the current flow by inducing a voltage that opposes current flow. The tendency to resist current flow is called inductance. Defibrillators have to be easy to transport. They often to get their power from batteries. Unfortunately, batteries can only produce a continuous low flow of current. The defibrillator has to somehow use the continuous flow current from the batteries to provide the brief high flow current needed for defibrillation. Fortunately, there is such a device and it's called a capacitor. Capacitors plays an extremely important role in defibrillators. The capacitor in a defibrillator is able to collect the continuous low flow of current, store what is collected, and then release it as the brief large flow current needed for the defibrillation. The basic design of capacitor is extremely simple. It consists of two parallel flat metal plates. As mentioned before, the capacitor plays an important part in defibrillators and it is able to be charged using a low flow current, and then is able to discharge a brief but high flow current to the heart. When we want to use the defibrillators to defibrillate some unfortunate person, the first thing we need to do is to charge the capacitor. This is done by the capacitor charging system in the defibrillators. The charging system needs a source of current to charge the capacitor. This can be from batteries or from the wall power socket in your hospital. To have a charge large enough for defibrillation, the capacitor needs to be charged using a very high voltage. The main component of the charging system is the step-up transformer. The step-up transformer is able to step up the voltage that comes into it. The step-up transformer in the charging system takes in the current from either the batteries or the wall power source. For an example, it is able to raise the supply voltage from the wall power source, which is 230 volts to 2000 volts. However, capacitors can only be charged with a DC current, whereas the step-up transformer put out in the form of AC current.